Hello and welcome to a brand new series of the Simulation News. This series will be bringing you the latest about all the new simulators, whether it be bus, truck, tram, train, plane, or etc., and telling you all the latest about these simulators that are due to be released soon. To start off this week, we have information about The Bus by TML Studios and about TramSim. So, last week, the TML, who are developing the bus, released some major news about this simulator, which we will get into today. So first of all, phase 1 the release of this will be split into 3 stages, starting from an early access up to a full release. The developers have recommended that people who are just looking for a fully functioning game should wait until full release, whereas those who want to contribute to the development of the game, who want to discuss bugs, want to highlight bugs, etc., should opt for the early access. Basically mentioning that if you're getting the early access, do expect there to be some bugs, etc. That's what the early access is for. Nonetheless, those who opt to get the early access will be given a discounted price, so this game will be available on early access on Steam. The date that seems to be surfaced is March, so it seems that March is the intended date for the early access. And if we just do a bit of speculation here, as we all know, Eversoft do love Thursdays for some reason. So if we were to speculate what days it would be released on one of these for, I'd say either the 11th or the 25th, since they do tend to release games at the end of the month on a Thursday, or sometimes in the middle. This was the case with OMSI2 Ad in London, was also the case with TramSim. But again, this is just a speculation based off Eversoft's own release dates. But do bear in mind that it is potentially a Thursday. But then again, even if it's not a Thursday, most likely it will be March. Nonetheless, the first phase will include the Scania Citywide, which you may remember from OMSI 2. And if we take a look here, there's a Scania cab. And it will include this bus in 2 variants, the Solo, which is the non-articulated version, and the articulated version, which is right here as well. So this is the first phase, and the first phase will also include the TXL, which has since been withdrawn. It no longer exists, so in a way it's a historic route running from Flughafen Tegel, which is Tegel Airport in Berlin, to the city center. This is quite a long route, as they've said it's about an hour long, so even though this is a daily access, doesn't include all the routes that they plan to add, which also includes the 102 more routes and 2 more buses, which is the MAN DL05 and the City double-decker triaxle, as well as the VDL bus. But nonetheless, this is a good taste of what's to come. There will also be a multiplayer added in, but this won't be part of the early access because phase 1 is just the kind of simulator itself. All those features will be added into the future updates. So those of you who buy the early access at a cheaper price will get all those updates for free. So again, if this is something you do plan to play, it might be worth buying it as early access, testing it out, contributing, and then obviously benefiting from a reduced price and free updates. It looks like also that Eversoft want the bus to be the replacement of OMSI2, the bus simulator, as we see here. So OMSI2 has been around for about 10 years, if included from the OMSI1 days, 2011. So it's exactly 10 years since 10 years before the bus will be released. And basically, the bus has been in development for about 4 years, and the reason it's probably going to be the replacer of OMSI2 out of all the bus simulators out there is because it has the components that made OMSI2 so successful, and it's the community development. So for example, it will come with a editor, so much like the OMSI2 editor here. And the bus will also have a route and map editor, which will allow people to make their own freeware maps or payware apps, whichever way they prefer to do it, make their own routes, change the tours, etc. So it basically gives a lot of power to the modern community to expand the scope of the bus. And this is probably what's going to make it stand out from the other bus simulators out there. And the other thing is the map is also a real map, so it includes Berlin, which is on a 1-to-1 basis. German cities do seem to be very popular within simulators, but again, there is a lot of simulator studios based in Germany, so it kind of makes sense. However, the bus's success, however, will probably be also dependent on 2 things: the sounds of the buses and the physics, because those are 2 other components of OMSI2 that far excel or far exceed other bus simulators out there. But nonetheless, there are modders out there like V3D who are working on simulators for the bus, and in addition, they have said that they feel like this could potentially be OMSI2's replacement. But then again, time will tell. But nonetheless, I'd say out of all simulators out there, this probably has the highest chance of potentially Bus World. But then also, just to mention a few other things mentioned about this, again, they'll have multiplayer, so that will make it also stand out, because a lot of the simulator is also being in development, but Aerosoft do seem to be focusing on this as the replacement of OMSI 2. Obviously, a lot of this is not affiliated with Aerosoft, but they Aerosoft have basically got TML to they kind of spoke with TML about making a bus simulator, and clearly the intention here is, because obviously OMSI 2 is still quite popular, they want this to be the next simulator out there, and they have even hinted the bus TML studios that there will be payer DLCs in the future. However, of course, currently their priority is getting the full release out, but they do plan to make DLCs for the game in the future. So a bit like Foreign Bus Simulator, which is also developed by the bus. So basically, it means that they do plan this to be a long-term game rather than a full release and then that's it. This kind of thing, that's not what they're planning to do. They're planning to do a full release and then continue developing on it. Obviously, have the community developing stuff on it. And if the modding tools, if people will be able to upload stuff on the Steam Workshop, that will be an added extra, as that will make installation a lot easier and a lot more hassle-free than it is with OMSI 2. The next update we have is for TramSim. So TramSim has actually undergone quite a few updates, and at the moment it's on version 1.0.10. A lot of these updates are just bug fixes, so they're fixing various bugs with the game, with cars running red lights in certain areas, pedestrians sticking into the ground, etc. There was also the update that added in the snow, they added in the winter elements. So if you go all the way to the very end of this, you'll see some of the snow updates. But that's really it. I'm not going to go through all the bug fixes because they're all in the change log and they're all just they're just kind of minor stuff. So there you go. There's the winter-ish element. But again, there is also going to be a major update for TramSim. It's going to include the E2 tram. So the E2 tram is the classic trams that were operational in Vienna for 40 years. I'm not sure, first of all, it's going to be as AI and then it will be as full release, but nonetheless, that is something also to look forward to, and there will be, of course, videos of that once it's released. So that's the simulation news for this week. There will be more simulation news in the coming weeks. There's a lot of simulators in development. Make sure to subscribe to stay on top of the simulation news. Do join the Discord server to get links and more information about all these simulators, and join the discussion about these simulators. Do give the video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. If you have any questions, etc., comment down below, or as well you can do it in our Discord server. If there's any particular games you'd like covered in the simulation news, do let me know and I'll happily cover that. That's it for now, and let's see, will the bus replace OMSI 2? Time will tell. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Until next time.